That's a beautiful description of this music. Honestly, not a bad description of Witch House in general. Of boss music, boss shows up but not ready to fight yet. Let me know if that's a little too quiet. Or if I need to turn it up at all. Hey, Squire. Hey, Deebs. Hey, Penta. How are you three doing? I feel like this song got louder. There we go. Three Musketeers were good. All right. The three horsemen of the apocalypse. That's the saying, right? Final boss here is far just chilling in a hot tub. It's like, Live the dream. How are you? Pretty good. I'm leaving in about 2 hours, so I have to. That was my Slack. Don't panic. So I'm leaving in about 2 hours. To drive to North Carolina to hang out with my sister for her birthday party, and then also go hang out with friends too. They'll be there. I don't know if you can hear the difference in the paneling. I did a recording of before and after with the paneling. It is very clear to me in a raw recording. You probably can't because there's music and stuff, but it is, to me, obvious how much difference this is making. So I'm really excited about these things. I'm glad you're living the dream, by the way. You liking your new shoes? Because they're pretty badass. Doing okay. Still haven't been sleeping great. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry. What has been the... Is there like a particular hang up or just one of those like, man, just hard to sleep? It's not a like... It's not as clear as like when you switch up from an okay microphone to a good microphone. But listening to it back, and part of it is I listen to it back to back, is you have there's less bounce. Like I would say a word and then there'd be like a little bit of a whoa of the word coming back to me because, you know, sound bouncing off of flat surfaces coming back. So, you know, these are just absorbing sound and making it bounce around in there so there's less reverb. So it's really, really just like maybe slightly cleaner because words stop when I stop talking, closer to that, rather than continuing to go. But yeah, you might be able to hear it, you might not. Like I said, there's music playing. It also, if I didn't have like good headphones on, I'm not sure I could hear the difference between the old and the new one. Bit of physical pain, a little bit. Oh, that stinks. I'm sorry. I'm a side sleeper the past several months. That comes with a lot of back and shoulder pain to me. I try to sleep on my back. I move a lot in my sleep. Dang, that's rough. No, because I sleep on my side a lot too. And yeah, and I also move around a lot. And yeah, if I do something that like hurts an arm, actually when I got my COVID shot, like I kept waking up because I would roll onto that arm and feel pressure and be like, ow. Yeah, so no, that's legitimate. That will really yuck up your sleep. So I'm sorry. Hey, for the briefest time, True Mandalorian. Why do you have a picture of my sleep paralysis team on the screen? I'm trying to find like a sea creature. And right now this kind of frog slug merfolk thing. So I'm going with. I really like this crab. We're going to look at my art folder in a moment and see if we can pick something to be our salesman because I'm making the cover for that trick weapon thing. Hey, Crawdad. Hey, Discordia. How are you two doing? And thanks for, however brief it is, thanks for the hello, True Mandalorian. I hope your busy day is a good busy. As I describe the audio changes sound more like a radio show host. They got good sound, so I'll take it. That sounds great to me. Watching my phone, it all sounds like tin cans to me. Yeah, that's the thing about audio. Like, if you don't have something that'll receive the good sound, you ain't gonna hear the good sound. Live from Frog Merfolk Slug Thing Studios, we have our hot new single, Trick Weapon. From the salesman. Yep. Hi, Pants. Been nuts the last 10 days or so. You ever have a week that just doesn't end? Oh, man. They keep thinking it's the same week. But it's actually last week. It's just never ended. Oh, man. Yeah, I've had some days like that, or weeks like that, I guess. It can be wild. I hope it calms down. Hey, Honey Bunny. We would like to go to a Pride thing. Like, there's a few... I mean, I'm going to be gone all this weekend, but maybe, like, next weekend. I would love to go to, like, a celebration thing. Of some kind. Because we went to one in, like, 2? I don't think we went to one... Yeah, we didn't go one last year. Because we were doing home bike stuff. And, like, that was just 6 months of our lives. That's all we did. And then the year before, we went to one, and it was really fun. And it was just like a, yay, Pride. And basically a bunch of hanging out and rainbows everywhere. So it was pretty cool, though. I had fun. Strong correlation between when I stopped streaming and life started to get insane. Oh no! Honey Money, what are you doing? Leliwani! Ayo! How are you doing, Honey Money? How you doing, Leliwani? I blame diabetes. Do it. Sounds like a great thing to blame. Like, if you got it, just anything. Look, use it as a scapegoat. If it's there, I had a tough day today, but I feel fine now. I'm sorry you had a tough day, but I'm glad you're feeling fine now. Whenever I see that, I don't read it like I sound like you when I say it, but in my head, it sounds like you saying, fine. But I'm bad at impressions, so I can't do it. Wilford Brimley will have words about it. I know he's a famous actor, but I've only seen him in 2 things in my entire life. And that's Where the Red Fern Grows Part 2? And I saw that as a kid. And I don't even remember anything about it. I just remember there are dogs. And Wilford Brimley scared me because he's a scary old man. And he's in The Thing. That's it. I don't know anything else this man has done. But he's famous. Oh, and the diabetes commercials. But, like, that's it. Well, not commercials for the diabetes. Diabetes commercial in that, like, the whatever medication he was selling. Liberty at Home or something. I don't remember. No, you know he's in The Thing. You probably just forgot. Yeah, he's he's Wilford Brimley from The Thing. He's just the old bearded man who's like, I'm not infected. That's not what he sounds like. But like that's that's just well, it's just like I don't even remember how he dies. Spoilers. Only Americans would have commercials for diabetes. Yep, that's us. Yeah, from the memes. I know from my fellow Americans, Cocoon and The Firm. 3 things I have not seen. Also, you wrote my fellow Americans, and I 100% read that as ugly Americans, and that was all on me. That's just me projecting. They're called Dunkin' Donuts commercials. Oh, to see what's a thing-related death. No one died in bed surrounded by loved ones. Yeah. Possibly 2 people don't have a thing-related death. Again, more spoilers. But we don't actually know. What a good movie. What an absolute legend of a movie. I love The Thing. Last time I saw it, I got to watch it and talk to people who hadn't seen it before, and like we're talking about it from like a perspective I hadn't thought of, because I've seen it several times, and they were like, the alien doesn't start off hostile towards humans, and like they get hostile to it first. Like it does infect Dog, and I'm sure like in the prequel something happens that blames the alien for doing everything wrong first, but like it's just super interesting to see it as like a confused, lost thing that's like crash landed and is just trying to survive. It's a good movie. However you analyze it, it's so good. Dunkin' used to do good coffee. The last several times I was there, my coffee was not good, and I don't understand why. Dan Aykroyd is the only person from that cast I recognize. Luwani. Humans hostile first to an outsider? Yep, sounds like humans. Yeah, it's pretty good. Any alien should not mess with the dog. Prepare to fight me. I've never seen the sequel, so I don't count the sequel. Wilford Brimley was in the Ewoks movie? Was he an Ewok? He kind of looks like he could play a human Ewok. Christmas special? No, the Christmas special was different, I think. That the infamous Star Wars Christmas special. I think there was just an Ewoks movie. That was a whole nother thing. I really like this crab. I want this crab to be the salesman. Yeah, Battle for Endor. I don't know Star Wars. I'm going to do something while we're talking, because that's like a thing that I should be doing. I want to try something here. Hey, make that bigger. Download. If anybody was asking the kind of music I like to listen to, the answer is this. I really like Witch House. Oh, there it is. Actually, there's a lot of different kinds of music I like. Oh, shoot. This is way too small. Okay. I'm curious if I can, like, Make a background. This is a real picture. This is just Pixabay. Also, Pixabay does music. That's wild. I did not know that. I'll see if I can mess with levels and make this like a little less picture-y. I'm not good with any of this stuff. So I don't know how I would make this look less like an actual picture, but I liked all the tools in the background. And like that might work as a background. But I'm probably going to end up going with something more abstract than an actual location. That's Wilford Brimley on the poster. Oh shoot. He's looking like George R.R. Martin in that picture. Giant crab behind the slub eel thing gives me a whole new perspective on its facial expression. It's behind me, isn't it? Oh no. Alright, so if I do vibrance, saturation, that's just really up in the colors. Okay, that makes everything like... Alright, what if we crank that? Also, I find it upsetting that Jesse doesn't know who Lauren Bacall is, James Garner or Jack Lemmon. What else have they done? Who's Jack Lemmon? What else has Jack Lemmon done? Has he ever been in Star Trek? Nope. None of those. Alright. What's a HSI? Oh. This does nothing. Oh, Some Like It Hot? I have seen Some Like It Hot a long time ago. I'm guessing he was one of the dudes. Grumpy Old Men. The Apartment. Odd Couple. I'm familiar with Grumpy Old Men in The Odd Couple. I've never seen him, though. Grummy old men? Oh, those old men are so grummy. I don't find it upsetting, but you might like The Apartment. It's really good. What's The Apartment about? And quick, how do I turn it into an RPG thing so we can tie it to topic? One with the square building where she has a cat. Alright, that's the gamma. That's just changing that. Yeah, I don't think I can make this work, to be honest. I think I got a little too excited about a thing. What I could do, hang on. Lower the opacity. Okay, I don't know what you're level adjusting, but let's get you out of here because you're not doing anything specific. You're also not doing anything specific. Get out of here. Let's put this in the background. Lower the opacity. And then add a color. And then lower that opacity. Oh god, that looks terrible. This looks awful. This is so bad. This is why I don't make things. This is why I get other people to make them. This looks incredibly awful. Yeah, okay. We're gonna abandon this before I spend any more time on it. I feel like this doesn't look the worst, so I'm just gonna disappear it. Jack Lemmon looks familiar. Oh, okay. James Garrett was the original Maverick in the movie Maverick with Mel Gibson, which I have not seen. The Great Escape, which I have not seen. Atlantis: The Lost Empire, which I have not seen. I think I shot some, like, the Hunt Showdown last week. Did you play the Hunt Showdown? That's, shoot, which game is that? That's one of the isometrics, right? It's from 1960. Jack Lemmon plays an executive who lets his bosses use his apartment to have affairs. He's single, so it's easy for him to stay out late. One night he comes home to find a suicidal woman played by Shirley MacLaine left behind there. Oh, it's a dark comedy. Oh my gosh. All right. Now I'm on board. I love a dark comedy. I was looking up splatterpunk stuff on the subject of possible dark comedies. And one of the, like, splatterpunk in media, one of the ones listed was Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and that made me happy because I was like, oh, my love. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I do. It's PvPvE, so you're all hunting the same monsters that's AI controlled against other real players. Ooh, okay. I should try that game. Lauren Bacall was in a lot of movies with Humphrey Bogart. She's also married to Humphrey Bogart. Oh, okay. Or she also married Humphrey Bogart. I don't think either of them are still around. Yeah. So I said that right the second time. I think Sabrina is the only Humphrey Bogart movie I've seen. I think. Wait a minute. Is Splatterpunk what happens when Kindred gets a Bastille failure? Yeah. Also that. Billy Wilder directed it. I don't recognize that name either. She voiced a witch in Howl's Moving Castle, the English version. I actually have not seen Howl's Moving Castle either. Why don't we just keep naming things I haven't seen? That's today's stream. Keep it on topic like a champ. Yeah, Discordia is good. Hey, Larson. Argle bargle to you, too. Meetings till I pass out. Have a great day. Take care, True Mandalorian. I don't know. Don't pass out during those meetings unless you really want to. And then I guess go for it. Yeah, so we have our trick weapon salesman. Remember that thing we did? This thing? So I made up the story for this guy, which is a deep sea merfolk. Which doesn't have to be merfolkian. Like, I was pulling up some other, like, art, which I'm going to go over. I actually kind of like this little fish face right here. Or like this weird Cthulhu guy. Ooh. As possible faces for him. And, so the idea being, like, it's a deep sea merfolk who, gets... His story is he got transferred to Whalefall Cove, which is a city that's in the ocean and then goes up onto land, and it's all like one big country and city and like province and stuff. And then eventually like gets interested in the surface world and like how weird it is because you have to like climb a mountain rather than just swim up it and stuff, and then like retires from servitude to the ruler, like the deep sea king, and sells these trick weapons. And he's basically just an old man who's like super enthusiastic about his hobby, which are these bizarre trick weapons. That's his story. The real thing is he 100% got fired from doing the like bidding of the king, and has 100% been a part of like multiple assassinations for the king. Like never doing them directly, but like orchestrating them, being there when they're happening, all that stuff. And so like he keeps slipping, and that's his dialogue, is he's talking about these weapons, but he keeps slipping and saying like, I've seen it take someone's head of cabbage, cut it clean in half. Is wow, truly, if you needed to use it in a time of need, it would be there for you. Or like, oh yeah, I had a friend who was an associate who really used these. They thought they were great. Like it just like accidentally keeps slipping up in his descriptions of talking about these, about his actual life. So I wanted to find art for a merfolk or some sort of deep sea critter. Deep Sea does not make the trick weapons, he just sells them. Does he have a coat like that? What are you boying? Yeah, like as retires from service, dude. So he was an employee basically, like an appointed person for the king, but did a bunch of shady stuff. It's open questions, ask what you want. Very much so. But I'm going to be doing this. I was going to start listing movies that I don't think you'd have seen, but suddenly I can't think of a single movie aside from Jaws and Spaceballs, both of which I have seen. Several countries have been making lots of movies every year for like 100 years. There's a lot of stuff I haven't seen. So, yes, man, we're talking merfolk salesman. Yeah, and also open question. Jesse should do something like Millennial Movie Monday where we watch movie people recommend a classic and then react to it. I think that would be really fun. Some of them are good. Like I remember watching 12 Angry Men, which is a like 1930s, 40s. It's black and white. It's old. And that was a good movie. Like Court Jester? Is that the 60s? 70s? That's a good movie. My sister and I did that where we watched like the not AMDs, UHF, AFU, something, one of those film academies, the like top 100 best comedies of all time. And we wrote down some names of the ones we thought were interesting, and then went to the video store back when those existed and rented the ones we could. AFI, like the band? I think it is AFI, but it's not the band. And like, so we watched like some Like It Hot and Court Jester and some of the other ones. And I remember those two. Well, we watched other ones, but I only remember those two. And I remember really liking Court Jester. Actually, Jill Biernup? She's a YouTuber. She did a video on the fight scene in the Court Jester. Because there's a fight scene where he has to duel somebody, and he's not a good swordsman. And so he gets someone to hypnotize him, and at the snap of a finger, he'll download the information of a great sword fighter. He'll think he's a great sword fighter, and thus he will great sword fight. So there's a fight scene between him and the main guy where he's like, oh, I don't know how to sword fight, and then someone snaps, and his hypnotizing kicks in, and then he does like really good sword fighting, and then someone snaps, and he's like, again, being like a real like, oh shoot, I don't know how to do this. And it's like a big comedy back and forth. Picture used car salesman. This baby is great. Slaps it. Parts fall off. We'll fix that. Oh, the rhyming clip is a really funny. The vessel with the chessel is the brew that is true. What is this? Oh, not old enough, but that's a cool picture. Also, I need art that I can actually use. So it has to be royalty free, or I have to own the rights for it. Like this art right here that I have. Can I use... Hang on. If I put this... Can I mimic this? If I, like, put this guy here... And then do, like a... This is attached to him somehow? I think I'd have to get rid of this top part. I could somehow make this connect. These are close enough. That there's from the board game Abyss. Ooh, that's cool. I really like the idea on the subject of Fall Guys Discordia of like everybody makes a level, and then for one twitching hour we all play each other. We all like get together and play levels. That sounds fun. And then we can like play normal Fall Guys after, because I doubt we'll do that for 2 hours unless people just go absolutely ham on level making. Where's my thing? There it is. Alright, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So let's do illustrations and see if there's anything that I can use. I think I'm going to have to go for an abstract background. But I have no idea what. Just like swirly colors or something. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at art. So this is a folder I have of art I bought the rights to, so I could use. Rights to? I have the... Shoot, what's that called? Not the Kirby Netta. Aha! Hang on. Oh, that covers it up. Oh, I really like that fish guy. Where's that from? Is that also from Abyss, the board game? I really want it. Yeah, licensed. I have the license for all of this artwork. So, like, I've actually used it on connected things like the Fantasy Folk. Where's the banners? No. Flags? I think those are just on. No. Badges. I think it's the badges. Yeah, so there's like some of these and game tokens, fantasy, map tiles, pet cards, race badges. I think these were them. Yeah, so like I made the cover of One Page Lore Fantasy Folk out of these. So they're all kind of lined up. Hang on. I can just bring up the cover of that. Yeah. So you can see like that's the small version. There's also a full page version of it. So, AI art makes me feel grimy, which I suppose is appropriate for sleazy salesman fish. Wait, was that was AI? No way. That's salesman fish? There's no way. That's too good. This one. That one that you sent. That cannot be AI. Also, this is exactly the sort of weird background that I was thinking of. That's too cohesive. Yeah, I agree, Deep. So the Fall Guy thing kind of got me. I did think of a level that I wanted to do. I wanted to do a three doorway one, and then each one, like, one goes up, one goes middle, and one goes down, and things that you do on one track affect the other two tracks. So, like, if you press a button here, it'll shoot something on the track below it, and the track below will shoot things on the top track. But, like, I could not get the thing to work. Dang. Well, I'm not going to use AI, but holy crap, that's shockingly good. If you ever want to see some crazy stuff, try putting pirate rat. That was the thing that I've tried, that I was screwing around with. Man, it makes some horrific things. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't use AI. As fascinating as it is too much of a quagmire, where you have, like, I think it's a very useful tool, but yeah, it's currently, like, just it's too icky. Like, there's too much of it that's being, that's just too negative towards artists. Because, like, like ChatGPT, and it's like that's one of the big things that the Writers Guild is striking on, is like AI writing. And it's like, I think, things like ChatGPT and stuff as a writer are incredibly useful tools, and I wouldn't want to not use them, but I would want to use them responsibly. Like, do I want to use an AI to help me write a better resume? Fuck yeah. You kidding me? I hate that garbage. You think I'm not going to do that to help me out? Heck yeah, I'm going to. Do I want to have it write a script? No. Do I want to, like, fool around with some ideas? Sure. But, like, for me personally, because I have more relation to writing, I'm okay with using it as a tool. I don't have that same thing with art, like drawing art, because I'm garbage at it. So I can't really use it effectively. Like, I don't know how it works. So I wouldn't want to use it in replace of something. But I don't want to say, especially for an artist, to be like, let me fool around with it. See if it gives me some cool ideas. Like, and fiddle around. Because it is just straight scraping the internet. And it is being used as a replacement without, or a lot of people want to use it as a replacement without compensating the people that they are going to replace, whose work they're using to replace them. So, like, yeah. Yeah, AI art can be good, but not terribly consistent. It is incredibly inconsistent. Yeah, and, like, the idea of it doing something that you wouldn't do, like, here's a silly idea, like, that you want it to do. It's not something you would pay an artist to make. You're not removing them from the market. You're not like, oh, I really want John Oliver holding a cabbage. I think because last week tonight did a thing about AI art, and it's like, oh, well, that's like, that's funny. That's the thing you type in, or like, oh, I need a little, like, token for my character, or like if I wanted to, do something for a house game, I might be like, yeah, okay, here's fish guy, cool, close enough. Like, that's not a thing that I'm going to pay someone to do. But like a cover, like the cover of this, where it's like, all right, this is gonna be a cover. This is art from an artist I bought a license for. Same with like Grinderbin. Like I paid an artist to make this. Or it's like, hey, I want a little Grinderbin. Actually, they made this whole thing. Except the sign. I made the sign. But they made the whole cover. There it is in its glory. Ta-da! So it's like, I wouldn't want to do that in AI art because that is removing. But also, this cost me real money. And like, as someone on a budget, yeah, something that can generate usable art, incredibly useful. AI's ChatGPT harassment complaints to HR. What? Yeah, Luani, yeah, because like I'm really bad at art, and sometimes I like throwing a phrase or something in there to see what it generates and be like, yeah, that's kind of what I was picturing, and then use that as a tool to give that description or like for players of imagination, like theater of the mind or whatever, or be like, all right, I fooled around, here's what I think, if I'm ever going to draft this, these are the details I want, and then give that to an artist. Because yeah, like I said, as a tool, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's incredibly useful, but as a like as a replacement, that's where the problems come in. If creative people find it a useful tool, that's one thing, but that's not being developed to help you write resumes or make a token for your PC. It's being developed to siphon creative people's salaries and tech companies' accounts into tech companies' accounts. Yes, that great way to put it, Crawdad. That's the issue. The issue is less about, well, I mean, the thing itself and how it uses this thing is certainly something to be aware of, and like that we need some laws on, and like of like what it does and how it does it. But also, it is the fact that it is attempting to be used to remove people while using what they've already made to circumvent them. Why are people shitty? Can we stop that? Can we just like collectively stop being shitty? I might end up quitting this gacha game I'm playing because there's rumors going around that the studio is going to fire their artists and replace them with AI. Ooh, dang. Yeah, that's rough. And like, again, as someone that has to work on like an incredibly micro budget and doesn't always make back the money that they put into a project, where it's like, oh, like this one worked out for Grinderbin, because like I had the license for the art for the items, I paid for this, I did a Kickstarter, it went well, I actually made money back on that. But like there are things that I make that like you don't, like if you put money into it, there's a chance you might not get it back because you don't know what's gonna work. And so like budget saving stuff is like, you want to be able to like, oh man, wouldn't it be great if I could have good art and like also make money on this thing I made? Wow, that would be cool. So like I see the appeal 100%, but it hurts. It is grimy. It should be better than it is. Like, ugh. Oh, because we've built a society based on the idea that money is God. Yeah, that's true. Capitalism, baby. I think it's a losing fight, honestly. The AI stuff here is to stay, and we'll just keep getting more ubiquitous until it's indistinguishable. That's another reason that I'm not against, like, we shouldn't, that I'm not against it in the sense that we shouldn't use it. That, and maybe I'm wrong for this, but when something appears, it's like, we can never undo that. Like, are nuclear weapons bad? Yeah, they're pretty devastating. Can we just be like, all right, everybody, nobody use them? No, we can't. We have created them. They exist. It does not matter how we feel about them. They exist, and we need to be aware of it and, like, have policies and have safeguards and have everything we need to be like, okay, here's how we can interact with these or, like, deal with them. So with AI art and with, like, ChatGPT and stuff, it's like, okay, this exists. If we say don't, all right, just stop using it, don't ever touch it, like, that's not effective. It's not going to work out. We have to figure out how to exist with it and how to use it properly, not how to ignore it. That's what I think. But again, I might be wrong. Someone might be like, actually, Jesse, you're wrong for these reasons. So I'll be like, dang, that's a good point. Head like a hole, black out your soul. Wait, what is that from? Because I just started a book called Head Like a Hole. It's a horror book. I'll probably listen to it on my 6-hour drive today. It's like once someone put pineapple on pizza the first time, there was no way to stop it from ever happening again. Yeah, exactly. We put pineapple on pizza. We learned it's delicious. Like it or not, it's here to stay. Tech concept itself is really cool and interesting. The current implementation is exploitative and unethical. Yeah, I totally agree, Deeps. Like, that's the thing, is that it is an interesting, useful tool that has to be used properly. A knife is an incredibly useful tool. I can cut pineapple and watermelon and chicken with it. Delicious. It could also be used to stab somebody. So, like, we can't say no one's allowed to use knives because this might stab somebody. We need to say, here's how you should properly use knives and not stab people. In the nuclear metaphor, it depends on how it's used. In the hands of the good, it can provide clean, safe energy. Incorrect hands can be destructive force. You're 100% correct. I don't know if I'm 100% correct, but yes. It is the nuclear energy knife. It can be used useful or as destructive force. It's a 9 Inch Nails song. Oh, okay. I'll say it's termed AI. That is also true. It is not artificial intelligence in the sense that, like, pop culture has described it as, like, something that can think that is intelligent. It is filling in blanks. It's kind of like using a random table generator, but a little less random. Yeah, it doesn't know anything. Exactly. AI is the incorrect term, but good marketing has made it the term. It can also be used to stab someone. Not delicious. Yep. Why people ate up pineapple on pizza? I like it. I've also had avocado on pizza. How does the avocado not just dry all the way out on a pizza? Is it that moist? I don't think I'd like that one, just because I don't like raw avocado. I like guacamole, but raw avocado just tastes like smooth mud to me. It's very earthy. Ultimate tool for motivation for making money. You can make lots of money by being shitty. My dad worked honest and ethically his whole life, never made a fraction of what Bernie Madoff or Pablo Escobar did. That's true. There is a lot of money to be made in fucking people over. Real shame about that. That knife talk is getting dangerously close to the gun control argument. Yeah. Like, it's not completely removed. Avocado cream sauce base? Oh, like the sauce of the pizza was avocado. Okay, that could work. Because that's supposed to be wet and then kind of dry out. I was just thinking slices of avocado like pineapples. Tuna on pizza. I've never tried that. Tuna's not bad, so I could see that. Yeah, balance it with something savory. Heck yeah. So about them tabletop games, huh? Yeah, about them. How do you deal with gun control in your tabletop world? I'm not convinced these programs are as good as advertised. Oh, they're not. Maybe they will become so, but they're being used as just always just a couple of years. Yeah. Well, I mean, in 2015 was the year of VR. Because that was only in 2013, it was only a couple of years off before we had all gaming consoles working on VR. And VR was going to be the new video game trend. What was it? 2017 was the year of the self-driving car. That they'll be on the road by themselves. Like, the promise of, don't worry, it'll get good, is a huge red flag. So, like, are they useful currently? Absolutely. Can they completely replace people currently? A few, but not everybody. They are being pitched as the next big thing when, yeah, they are not it yet. And, like, maybe they'll be significantly better in a couple years, or maybe they'll run into all the same problems that a lot of other things run into with big tech, and being like, oh, well, we thought this would be an easy fix, and it wasn't. Crab rangoon on pizza. I do love a crab rangoon. Guns have fewer practical uses outside of harming people than knives? Probably. Like, there's hunting. Which, legitimate. I'm trying to think of anything else. It's probably something. Loud noises are fun. They're like on-demand fireworks. Like, you gotta light a firework and then you gotta wait, and it's gotta be like, pew, and then it's gotta. But if you just want the instant payoff of the noise, I guess at that you could also just light some gunpowder on fire and it'll do that. But I do like the people developing AI art bots that are specifically looking at the moral and immoral uses for it and adapting accordingly. They're actually programming secondary bots to monitor the art prompts, to make sure nobody's trying to make lewd pictures of real people. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the ethical things, is not making essentially porn of real people who don't want to be in porn. But it's also the, whose work are they taking it from? Where it's like an art bot, kind of like a Shutterstock sort of thing, where it's like, here's a wealth of stock footage, stock art. You pay X amount, everybody in it gets paid X amount, and then you can use that art. You have a license for it. An AI art generator like that, where everybody, you could be like, hey, put my art into this thing. Every time someone generates art from it, it costs them a little money, and everybody gets paid a little bit. Like, that's something where it's like, oh, ethical, I could understand that. I don't know the logistics of that. There might be like, oh, no, that wouldn't work because X. But, like, that's sort of an idea. I can see that working for AI art. Where it is like a stock or a licensing thing, where if your art is being used indirectly, you're still getting paid for it. Although I do not know what the cuts of like stock image to the artist is. So maybe it's like, oh no, that's a terrible idea because they make like 1 fraction of a cent. It's like, oh, okay, well, never mind. Driverless cars are still on the way. They just need to be safer on average. Statistically, the upward suggestion is it will be. I mean, yeah. Theoretically, they will be here. But, like, I'm not convinced it'll be soon. They have a lot to deal with. As a truck driver, I didn't know you're a truck driver. I think self-driving cars will be perfect when every vehicle on the road can talk to each other, not before. Yeah, that's a huge thing. Guns, perfect for slow-mo video. Slow-mo guys video. That's true. If it was for guns, hair dryers would be shaped differently. And it wouldn't have a trigger. Wait, your hair dryer has a trigger? Did you hear about these self-driving Tesla cars that turn off their autopilot when they detect imminent collision because they can claim that the autopilot wasn't responsible for the crash? I did not hear that. Uh-oh. How about instead of investing in self-driving cars, we expand the train and tram system? That's a great idea. Public transit is very good. We have garbage public transit here. Like, moving to the DC area, so the DMV, the DC, like DC proper, Northern Virginia and Maryland. It's called the DMV. Like, we have the Metro, and there's, like, the MARC train in Maryland, and I think there's another one in the VRE in Virginia. And that is leagues better than like what I had in North Carolina. And even in Charlotte we had one light rail, and even that was better than what I had in like Greensboro and other places. And it's still not optimal, but it is so much better. And yeah, if you could have freaking good public transit, oh my gosh, so good. It'd be great. AI for Rule 34 Grinderbin. I don't know if there's enough art of Grinderbin for you to type in Grinderbin in AI art thing and to get anything even close. Let's do subways. Then you gotta build the underground. You could do, what is it, not light rails, the like elevated trains. Which, with any kind of art, a big part of what makes it great is connecting to the person who made it. Knowing it was made by another person, even if I can't know for sure what it meant for the creator, it's still concept. I still connect. Efficiency or whatever AI brings is not interesting to me. I think that's completely valid, yeah. Challenge accepted. I'd be curious what you get with it, to be honest. Boston's Big Dig has entered the chat. Are they doing a subway system? Hey, where's my thing? There it is. So this is real art. We gotta find a face for this salesman. So not to derail this. Oh, we were talking about trains. That's funny. But I actually could see some brain power to figure out some stuff for my session tomorrow. Oh, heck yeah. No. The whole thing was just I'm going to look at art and talk about RPG stuff. That was today. So, like, that's not derailing. That's getting on topic. Because procrastination has bit me in the ass again. So, yeah, what's your question? Or what's your thing? So anyway, this fishman salesman, does he sell weapons that require 3 arms to wield? And then sells you a cursed ring that gives you a 3rd arm? Well, he does now. That's a great idea. I love it. You re-railed. Hey, it's Ginger. Hey, Ginger. I initially read that as quietly sips and was like, what? I have to use the restroom. So, Larson, we're going to get to your question as soon as I get back. Hey, it's Blight. How are you doing? You and Ginger just popped in. How are you both doing? Third arm would be so useful, right? I could have 50% more arms than I already do. Freaking awesome. That'd be so cool. Used to dabble in cursed items, get additional limbs. Sometimes the limbs would hate the person. So they just get the third leg literally kicking their own ass. That's pretty funny. I do like the idea of, what is it, that episode of Rick and Morty where he gives Morty a muscly arm from someone else that had a muscly arm, but it has muscle memory, so it's just kind of doing its own thing. It's pretty funny. Chibi Grinderbin. Ah! What, Squire? That's adorable. Wait. Is it? Did you actually put Chibi Grinderbin when you put that in? Is it, and that's what it gave you? That is surprisingly close. I didn't even think you'd get like a mushroom person. No, create a batch of teal-colored mushroom man wearing Victorian attire. Ah, okay. See, so because I bet if you put Grinderbin, it wouldn't be able to do anything with that. It'd be like, what? This fancy little lad, yeah. What did Larson say? So, the party is currently on the trail of the Deep Gnome Druid's home village. Okay. Or rather, they found the village, and it was completely abandoned. So now they're on the trail for where they resettled. Oh, okay. Are they... I'm assuming they're not nomadic. Like, them not being there is a very strange thing. And that something serious has driven them out. But I really have to use the restroom, so we're going to answer that when I come back. Or I'll read your answer when I come back. Be right back, everybody. Alright, hopefully you didn't turn the volume up to hear the music, because now my voice would be very loud. Paint me like one of your French mushroom girls. Oh, I can't wait to see this. Oh, I hate this one. Oh, no. Oh, that one's terrible. Oh. Perfect example right here of a use of AI art being like, here's the thing you'd never want to pay someone to do, but it makes it funny. I don't know what this melting Play-Doh head is. Also, the arm has like a few too many joints. Oh, man. Oh, Deebs with a good question. Do you know why they've abandoned ship? Presumably whatever drove them out of the village is also following them. Okay. Oh, yeah, it is whatever drove them out following them. Proving to be very stressful and frustrating with day. Hopefully RPG stream will be chill enough. Well, Blight, maybe this will make you more stressful. Sorry. Don't forget, I'm going to see you tonight. Today is the 7th. Will that make your day better? Or did I just make it worse? It really did something with that head there. Yeah, it did. Here's something good. Now here's something else. Okay, they abandoned the village because of an Illithid attack, which took them completely by surprise because of espionage and sabotage by Musgrekin. Semi-chiramorphed deep gnome? Alright. The attack was only a failure because of a very selectively targeted cave-in caused by a literal divine intervention. Wow, that was nice. The party knows about all of this, except for the miracle part. Ooh, okay. I'll post Gerderman's findings in the Discord. It's interesting. Oh, no. I'm assuming it's a little... I'm guessing it's making some very phallic art, is my guess. The Illithids are no longer a threat, but the Deep Gnomes have, of course, abandoned their village just in case. But since relocating an entire settlement is easier said than done... Oh, excuse me. I'm thinking that they're currently squatting in the ruins of an abandoned city, presumably Dwarven, until they can find a more inconspicuous place. Wait, why is the village that they made it to abandoned? That sounds like intrigue. Like, oh, yeah, there was a giant, spider outbreak here that drove everyone away, but is probably gone now, and then spider eggs hatch. So, like, why is that city abandoned? Or is it like a small town that died and it's abandoned because it just couldn't survive and everybody moved away? Also, how big is it? What I'm stuck with mostly is fleshing out the settlement. So when you say fleshing out the settlement, like giving the deep gnomes of this place their own like personality, like Jersey or Texas or whatever. Yeah, oh, it's a good question, Deeps. Or do you mean the abandoned city that they have now entered? Haven't gone down that route yet. Oh, see, I feel like that last one you gave was a little phallic. Or not the first one. With the hat. As adorable as it is. But it's kind of with the territory of mushrooms. Like, you gotta... this is a fine line. Are the Illithids no longer a threat to the settlement, but still a threat to the party because they're on the wrong side of the cave-in? Presumably villagers did not... Yeah, also, what about the cave-in made the Illithids not a threat? Because the Illithids seem to be doing a thing, and then a cave-in seems like a snafu. Not a, well, let's abandon all plans that we had for this. Where it's more of a, well, now we got to get around this cave-in. Why did the Illithids want the gnome settlement? Is it a territorial thing? And they're like, well, they moved, so we don't have to pursue them for now? Or is it like they have an artifact we want? Or like, oh, we need some new fresh bodies. What did the Illithids want? Fleshing out the deep gnome population themselves mostly. I'm also thinking about filling the dwarf city with ancient but still functional traps. Oh yeah, absolutely. Ancient but still functional traps. Okay. This is... correct me if I'm wrong, Larson, but this you mentioned that this is there's a deep gnome in your party, and they're from this village, correct? Because if that's so, then take a deep dive into the personality and nuance and things of that character, and expand on those to build out the bones or some of the ideas of the Illithid. Or the Deep Gnome Society. Because it's like, if they're from there, we're all a product of the places we're from. And some of the things that we're a product of it, and we all reject and accept different parts of the environments that we grow up in and that we live in. And so using kind of them as a template of like, they're like this. Would more people be like that? They're like this. Would everybody be like that? Is that a rebellious thing? And like try and build off of them that way. Try and build the society that way a little bit. It would be one prong of your attack of fleshing this place out. Okay, the Illithid's attack happened many months before the party arrived at the scene, and they called it off because of the cave-in appeared to crush the village entirely, but conveniently managed to miss all the people and houses. And they've since been taken out by the actual long-term villains of the campaign. Oh, the Illithids have been taken out by the long-term villains of the campaign. Wait, so if they got sealed and the Illithids no longer found them to be a threat, why did they leave? Uh-oh, get rid of the clothes. See, that's one of the reasons why AI is currently not where it is, because it lacks context and like human understanding. Remove the clothes being like, have it not be wearing clothes, but it just removed the parts of it that had clothing and then gave it a weird third eye. That's really funny. If you're talking about fleshing out the population, this is a good chance for player collaboration. Does the character have any friends or family back home? Exactly, Deeps. Important detail. The PC Deep Gnome has partial amnesia. She only recently found out location of the village by extracting the Mozgrikan's memories, and only learned her own name when they found the abandoned ruins. Okay, I would still stand by using her as a baseline for trying to build this society. Like, you've been playing with this character for a while. You understand like certain nuances and like things that the character does. So like, if the character has a particular way of speaking, like, they don't remember that that's the way people speak. Like, that's their regional accent from whatever this place is called. But like, so they talk with the, you know, oh, they talk with a Midwest accent for their character. So like, have the overwhelming majority of people from that place talk like you're doing an impression of that character. And like some of the mannerisms, do they say do they talk with their hands, you know, are they very cordial, are they very blunt? Have that play into that. There's more deep-seated subconscious memory than they knew they had. So like, they don't remember that place, but they are acting like someone from there, and they didn't know that. So yeah, I would still say using that as a base for the society would be very helpful for you, and to draw some connections. Let's see. I think we're safe from AI for the time being. Yeah. I knew I had an Underdark City that was skulked by one Bobduck, and all the other monsters were ropers, mimics, and other creatures that can hide. Ooh, as other creatures. Yeah. Stealthy creatures. Edit info, the reason for her amnesia is because she spent several decades as a slave of Duergar and had most of her self-identity beaten out of her. Okay. Yeah, I would say play with that, like, deep-seated sense of, like, growing up and, like, having that be part of the society. Crawdad says, if divine intervention save the deep gnomes, the clerics, priests, whatever, will have a lot of influence. Maybe they are in charge now, but are not good at running many things, and their god isn't intervening with mundane problems. That's a great one, Crawdad. Yeah, where someone who, you know, they've now got the fame and the notoriety of, like, they saved us, and they got put in responsibility for too much. That was I was at dinner with a friend yesterday, and a really funny thing he mentioned was, like, seeing a lot of, like, people succeed. What was it? Being promoted to failure, where, like, you get a job and you do pretty well at it, and so you get a promotion, and you do well at that job, and then you get a promotion, then you do well at that job, and then you get a promotion into a job that you're not actually good at. And, like, no one who was your contact wants to admit that they didn't want you there, or that, like, whoops, oh, I guess they can't handle it. And the other people are like, well, we promoted this person, like, just let them do it. And so you stay in a position in which you're not good at, but you got promoted to there. So it could be very much that sort of a scenario where they were good at these specific things, and then because they got the fame from doing this one good thing, they got promoted, where it's like, well, we're a nomadic, you know, group for a while. You seem to know what's going on. You were in charge of all these things, and, like, they are just yucking it up. Even with the amnesia, I'd ask the player if the character has any vague memories of anyone from back home, so you can use that to build off or subvert from what they tell you due to misremembering details. Ooh, that's a great one, Deeps. The false appearance creature feat on creatures coming to investigate the city. Stay absolutely still. Yeah. The Peter Principle. Yes. I believe that is one of the terms, is the Peter Principle. I don't know if that's what it is. He said the Peter Principle and one other thing. So yeah, that would be really good, where you have, like, they have to do this new stuff, and now that new people in charge, they don't know what they're doing. So yeah, that would be that, and then would an Obelix work on someone with amnesia? They tend to need memories to feast on before they assume someone's form. Oh, I'm not familiar with obelisks. But yeah, I would say using that character as a baseline is a really solid one. And then also, what is the there was divine intervention. So like, are they an extremely faith-based society, city, whatever these gnomes are doing in this spot? Or was it like, oh, that's just was one of the religions, and it was like, yeah, some people believe, some people don't, whatever. And then, oh, Obelix. Like, was faith a big part of it before, or has it just become a big part of it? If they are faith-based, then like, what does the gods that they worship want? So like, are they oh gosh, what's the name? It's like religious rule, where you have the religion says X is good, so like society is built on these principles. One additional detail is the city is going to be connected via mine shaft corridor or the other feature to Lorbosfurf, the maddening dark. That doesn't have to be super relevant to tomorrow's session, but it's an important hook for later. Oh, okay. I don't know what the maddening dark is, but it sounds cool. Promoted to their level of incompetence. Yes, that is it, Crawdad. I mean, I played the Forgotten Realms, so gods tend to evolve themselves more than the average setting. Their gods just looking out for them. Right. So, like, what is it, a religious-based society? Or is it just like religion is a part of the society? Also, why did the Illithids want them? What is their relationship to their neighbors? So like, if they knew Illithids were going to attack at some point, or they feared it, like, that would affect their society. You know, it's like, if you look at a kiwi bird, it has no natural defenses because nothing was going to attack it. So like, it's fine the way it is. But then look at birds elsewhere and they have more natural defenses. It's like, oh, they can fly, they got stompy kicks, they got big beaks, they have, you know, intimidation, whatever. So like, the environment that they are existing in would affect how their society runs. So were they afraid of these Illithids for a long time? Was that a new threat? Did they think they were safe? Did they have some sort of connection? They're deep gnomes. They're always worried that someone's going to attack them. That's why they abandoned their old village. Okay, so like, that's another thing, is if they are always, if this is a group that is always afraid of attacking, of always afraid of being attacked, then, and is always nervous, then yeah, play into that. You have them like, maybe have like a colloquial language that is built around, you know, like, basically like, oh gosh, I'm blanking on the word, like secret phrases that you know with this person to know that they're really who they say they are, or that they need to, like, oh, I need to tell Jim that, like, there's something dangerous out there, but that something dangerous can hear me, so I need to tell him in code. So like, they have a very coded language in how they speak, and that there's all sorts of nuance and small things to be able to communicate in subtext. So that could be another thing. If they're constantly terrified, that would be a way that they'd be able to try and alleviate that, and like, be able to communicate directly without having to essentially say danger right there. So you could be like, oh, you know, I was thinking about getting water from the river up Graydon's path today. It's like, that's code for fucking terrifying monster up there. but you're just going to say it casually because that they might hear you. So like that could be a thing, and like build off of that idea. The if that then what mentality of if they're always afraid, then what? How do they deal with that? How do they communicate? If that's how they communicate, what is their language like? You know, do they have like this is a dumb idea, but like our safe rooms, kind of like how we have fire hydrants, where it's like every X feet there is a fire hydrant that's connected to an underground water supply, so that if there's a fire, we can put it out, because we are scared of fires. They are very damaging, and we want to put them out as soon as we can. So we have built an infrastructure of fire hydrants. We have laws of you cannot park in front of a fire hydrant, just in case it's being, you know, someone has to use it. So you got all this stuff. If that's how they're living, how does that affect the infrastructure? How does that affect what they do? Like, all things to kind of build off of, if that is helpful. Okay, I gotta catch up on chat. Was it one of their known gods that did, as what Leluani is asking, was it one of their known gods that intervention, or was it a forgotten god who managed a blip of power trying to get new followers? That's a good question. Yeah, was it the main god that they worship? Quick combat encounter would be monster hiding out there, dwarf skeletons that want to keep people out of a particular area. Maybe they're a weird old wizard who's been hiding, doing some dangerous experiments. Ooh, that's a good one. It's a good one, Crawdad. Larry's saying, yeah, they're deep nodes. They're always worried. Okay, the Illithids just wanted them for their brains. Okay. So, and the Illithids were like, oh no, it collapsed. It probably killed them all. Yeah, we'll get brains somewhere else. There's plenty of people. Okay. That makes sense. Why did the Illithids... This might not matter, but it may matter for you. If it doesn't, you can ignore it. But why did the Illithids choose those gnomes at that time? Because there's a reason they went there instead of somewhere else, like where they're going to go after those gnomes. Maybe the city is this new idea that's something that can protect them. So they're going to extremes to gather its favor. Ah, okay. So this, cling to this new idea that something can protect them. Going extremes favor. Some experimenting with sacrifices. See if that gathers favor. Oh, no. They gotta be very quick to veto the sacrifices. Dude's firmly neutral good. He's not gonna stand for that. Okay. So what is a thing that they would do on the subject of, hey, we are now in the favor of this god. They have protected us. What is it the god would want that they would look at and go, oh, we can do this? So if it's not human sacrifices or animal sacrifices, what is it? Charity work? It's a pretty good thing. Taking in refugees. Maybe they think every refugee they take in will earn them 1 god buck that they can cash in for god purchase, god for divine interventions. Going to the back, which god saved them idea. Is there a temple in the city of the forgotten god of the village, close enough proximity? Try to act villagers, more influence them. Ooh, on the subject of that, Luani said, did the new village, was there a church or a temple to a different god? And then they were like, fuck that god. Our god's better. And like destroyed the old stuff and started putting up their god stuff, which could anger the god that the temple once belonged to, and is like, why are you desecrating this ancient shrine of mine? It was Kalarndoran Smooth Hands, the main patron and deity of the deep gnomes. I have no idea what that is. Are you sure it was Kalarndoran? Wink, wink, not judge. The main villains of the campaign want to murder all the gods. I need some positive divine interactions to motivate my players here. It's been all evil gods so far. Oh, that's, yeah, you gotta get some good gods, because like if they were like the Greek pantheon, have I been learning about, I'd be pro murder the gods. They are buttholes. So I'd be like, oh, you got to murder? You got to murder those gods? Yeah, go for it. I mean, yeah, some bad stuff might happen, but like, could it be worse than those freaking gods and how they run stuff? Pfft, no. Might just be different. Well, all I've really got here is what Deep says, based on what you've said, is religious leadership of settlement would likely be in high standing and be in charge of leading the group to the new settlement, whether they want that responsibility or not. They probably would have definitely some new, even if they weren't the, like, head in charge, they would definitely have some new place in it. These are all avatars. Look at this guy. We're just going to leave that up there. Maybe they're running low on supplies, says Crawdad. Presumably, they have not had time to set up new shroom farms or whatever. PCs could ask to go hunting, gathering, and help them out. Ooh, that's good. That's true. If they're on the move and they're not used to it, they would be pretty low on supplies. A face you could trust. Yeah, I was thinking more practical concerns in those lines. Yeah, then like, so damaged infrastructure would be another big one if they're going to an old abandoned city. Which, by the way, why is it abandoned? I do want to know. That could be a fun little thing. To your point, you wanted it to connect to the maddening dark. Could it be something from the maddening dark that came to this place and made it abandoned and then has since left or gone dormant? And then it could resurface, and then that could be how the players learn about the connection to it. Maybe some sort of conflict between religious leadership and a mayor equivalent role. Maybe the friction is between the populace and the leadership, as they want to give the priests/clerics more power, says Deebs. Ooh, yeah. Have a lot of social friction there. I like all that. As an addendum, the reason they're only squatting in the abandoned city instead of settling is because the deep gnomes prefer to live in areas that don't attract attention. Most Underdark races see them as easy prey. What? Well, okay, but hang on. Why is this this is an abandoned city, which means like nobody's going here. That seems like the optimal place to not bring attention. Like, who's gonna check the abandoned place for these gnomes? Why wouldn't that be an optimal place if they don't want to get noticed? Because if I was looking for someone and it was like, I can, especially if they're used to hiding in like in parts of the cave where people, you know, don't go, then changing up their strategy is a good way. Actually, true, there could be a disagreement within the populace on whether to settle the city or move elsewhere. Yeah, you could have people being like, hey, we've hidden in like the dank ass backside of caves for like 500 years and we are constantly getting driven out. Let's change up our strategy and move into this abandoned place. That might work better. And other people are like, no, it's tradition. We always do this. It's like, but that's dumb. We always get caught. We just had to have God intervene so we could leave with our lives. Why would we waste this miracle and just go back to the old ways? Leilawani says, also, it's the Underdark. Is there a city built wide? Like our cities, or is it built vertically? Maybe they need people help devise ways to spelunk deeper and more defensive position. Ooh. Yeah, how is the city built? That's a good one. Love this face. All these little bug people. So these are all icons, which I feel like would work for the inside of the book, but I need something for the cover, and I think I need something a little bit bigger, so I don't think icons will work. Even though I like these. I think they're really cool. Oh, look at this guy. Hey. Hey. I got some trick weapons to sell ya. I like this guy's face. I was thinking circular tiers around a chasm. Norman Osborn, is that you? Bit of a scientist myself. Okay, so it's like a big pit and then circular chasm. Does the chasm have a bottom, or is it like a essentially bottomless pit? Does the bottomless pit lead to the maddening dark? Maybe diagonal chasm, actually, then the bottom could be gradually lowered towards Losphorus, which is a huge abyss. Yeah. Where it's like let's say like a 10,000 feet long chasm, and the city is only, you know, the first like few hundred feet. And then it's like, well, yeah, it's just more chasm down there. Like, we'll build down if we need to. Look at this guy. This guy's adorable. I like this guy. Look at those rolls. I love it. Oh, this is like turtle thing? That's cool. What was the original purpose of the city? Was the last-ditch defense of civilization who won its war? Visitors, says victors never came back. Was it near a supply line resource? Yeah, I agree. That was what Leilani mentions that I think I asked earlier. But I don't remember if you answered it. Like, what was you mentioned as a Drur city? What was it? Why did it exist? And why is it currently abandoned? Sorry, call practical concern would basically be food, water, like King Crawdad mentioned, actually finding a location to resettle and staying safe from further attacks while they look for a new home. Another thing, yeah, on practical, they could find things like wells for water and places for mushroom farming or whatever, but like they require resources to get them back. So like they found a well, but covered in algae. It is currently not drinkable. With time and effort, they could make it drinkable, but in order to do that, it'd be like, well, that's too much time. We should just leave and find somewhere else. That, you know, some people want to leave and find, you know, water supplies. You know, don't stay here, find water supply. Where they're like, hey, and other people say, hey, we could farm this land for mushrooms. We could get these wells in working order. We just have to invest a little time, and this could be our new home. Fairly low res image, but there's Underdark map. Oh my gosh, that's huge. Is the blue water? Do they have a coastline in the Underdark? Thought it was like those would be cave walls. Deep Waste, which is the upper middle. I see it. Okay. What else is in the Deep Waste? What else is in the Deep Waste? If there's water, there could be stuff living in the water. Maybe like their water resources, a lake, and now there's stuff living in it because the underground river connected to it. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Could be infectious things, like little things you don't want to drink. Could be attacky things, like giant lampreys. Okay, so that is actual underwater lakes. Okay. Sci-fi characters. Oh, this is where this guy came from. That's a different one. Ooh, look at this crab. Look at this alien. Look at this potato. I kind of want full art. Let's see. Badge. Fantasy badges, tokens, animal icons. I think these are all like, yeah, these aren't what I'm looking for. I need like art. Coin, no. Creature cards. This might have some. Creature transparent. Oh, these are like little guys. Adorable. Not what I'm looking for. Actually, hang on. Any of these look like they would sell you weapons. And is also Murph. This little guy. Because I could just match color palette to like this brown. Oh, I like this guy. I like this guy. He's cool. Look at this little merfolk. I like merfolk that aren't necessarily like person top half, fish bottom half. I like a little more fluidity. That's cool. I like this guy. Glad I looked at that folder. Maybe you need to cross water to get to another part of the city, but all the bridges are collapsed. There's a boat, but it drifted out to the middle of the lake, and now the party needs to figure out how to get back and avoid the monsters in the water. Ooh, yeah. Settlement is going to be west of Moondeep Sea, which is Bright Blue Lake, under the of the Deep Waste. Oh, okay. I see that. There was a beefy armed one that looks like it fit the backstory. Uh-oh, I missed it. Hang on. Oh, this guy's cool too. Wait, where's the beefy one-armed one? There's a beefy armed one. Oh, this guy? Are you talking about that guy? I do like him. Hang on, we're gonna drag him in here. I don't know if I'll use him for that, but like, I'm a big fan. That's a cool design. Oh, this is a straight up squid. That's cool. Ooh, a little Cthulhu. Hey guys. Ooh, I like this little slippery one too. Uh-oh, I'm getting a lot of options in this folder. My cup runneth over. Lurus Fruin is mainly important because it connects the Deep Waste to the Buried Realms, which contains stuff that will be important later in the campaign. Okay. I love asymmetrical creatures. I love asymmetry. It's great. That guy's one big beefy arm and one small arm. These are great. I like these. Yeah, so what do you... how much time do we have left? We only have like 9 minutes. Okay, so what is... Did you get any ideas from us talking about this that you want to use? And B, what is one thing that you want that if we workshopped would aid you in what current position you are now after everything we talked about? This one? Or no, the pointy face? Technically one with the pointy face. That's definitely some deep sea merfolk right there. Guess what I'm looking for is ways to fill out the session so it's not just, oh, there's people. Hey, cool. Okay, so helping them, I'd say ways to fill out the session. Helping them make a decision on whether to leave or stay. And then on that, helping them with that activity. So like, we need to clear the man-eating lampreys out of the water supply so we can use it. We need to get the spider webs off of the farm area for the mushrooms. Like things like that. Oops, just punched my microphone. Or like, oh, we need protection as we leave and go to this new place. Absolutely festivals and like using what supplies they have to celebrate the god that saved them. Trying to do some sort of thing that would appease their god. To be like, hey, thanks a bunch. And then having the people act a lot like that one character who's in your party. Yeah, but just said if they move on, helping them plan direction to find safest route. Yeah. So kind of have it set up, and you could use that as like an early thing of like, oh, there's a lot of talk, a lot of crosstalk happening of like, should we stay, should we go, and like that they have a level of influence on that, and that maybe the people want their opinion, that they're like, hey, you're outside, you're outsiders. We're all scared and like unsure what to do. You've been out in the world. Should we stay here or should we go? Look for a missing scout group that explored a mushroom cave and never came back. Scout the city itself. The gnomes are too scared to hear they hear noises. Oh, that's a good one. I like those. Leluani. If they're all gonna act like it, it's gonna be the world's most sullen and introverted community. Freaking perfect. Yeah, have them all be like that they're all like very reclusive. Like, that's funny. I think that could absolutely work. Like, make them work for those interactions. That people aren't super open. Maybe they're not rude, but that, you know, they're more reclusive. We left the village with 73 gnomes. Now there's 77 of us. We can't explain it, and it worries us. Building collapses, trafficking some families. PCs are asked to help. Turns out the Umber Hulks were tunneling under the buildings, and they attack. Ooh, that's a good one, Crawdad. I like that. I mean, I'd be pretty sullen and reclusive, says Deebs, if I'd just gotten driven out of my home by cave-ins and illithids. Yeah, absolutely. Mind you, they're probably going to be a bit rude to the drow and the bugbears. They're going to have to do some explaining for why she thought bringing them to the village was a good idea. Should they be rude, though? Like, okay, I'm always pro, like, don't racially profile in RPGs, so, like, this is my bread and butter. But, like, if you're constantly scared, why would you be more scared of, like, the bugbear? Other than it's probably big. But, like, if you are from a town or a society or whatever that is constantly afraid, like, they should be, maybe they have more interactions with bugbears than and drow than I don't know, living ooze or whatever the other party members are. But, like, wouldn't you also be afraid of other deep gnomes? Like, oh no, what if they're working for the Illithids? What if this deep gnome only has a brain because it's a scout for the Illithids to come and eat all them, and they're just trying to get our trust? Like, if you live in fear, you live in fear. Like, that goes for everybody. Oh, how important is light to the party? Ooh, that's a good one. Galaxy, heart, galaxy, heart. Hey to you. What brings you here? They all have improved dark vision. And I regularly let them see longer into darkness than that because only way for campaign to work. Yeah, that's fair. So light literally means nothing. Yeah, that's the way I feel like it makes sense to be wary of any newcomers where they're squatting regardless of species. To clarify why they led non-gnomes to the... But I still stand by that, though. Like, why wouldn't they also be afraid of the gnomes? If they live in constant fear of so many things, it seems like they should also be afraid of the gnomes. Can't do Danesk? No. I cannot do Danesk. Sorry. Whatever Danesk is. I'm assuming that is, do I speak set language? But Galaxy, I do not. I am dumb, and I only speak English. And also, I'm just dumb. They'd be a bit suspicious of her as well, of course, but the Underdark is sadly a pretty racist place. Yeah, but, I mean, I don't think you need to play it up harder on the other ones, is what I'm going for here. That they have theoretically just as many reasons to be scared of her as they are everybody else. And I feel like they have even Danish. I do not speak Danish, sorry. But, like, they would have every reason to also fear her and be just as suspicious of her as they are of the others because she's with them. If that makes sense. Make up vowels and pretend. I don't know enough about Danish to confirm or deny that. But hey, Galaxy, welcome in. What brings you here? Oh, Freya. Hey, how's it going, Freya? It's only racist as you make it, says Deebs. You may not have created the world, but you are running it. That's also a good point. You can change anything you want. Also, if they do worship a neutral good god, then maybe one of the things the god wants is for them to be, not a judgmental asshole. And be like, their god is like, you know what's good? Not being racist. So, like, don't do that. And they're like, ooh, oh, but God, but, I don't know about that. It's like, did I just save you? Come on. I know what I'm talking about. They're like, eh. So, like, that might be a thing that religiously, they might be, their God may be trying to break them of that. So, all ideas. But it is 2 o'clock, and I have a lot of packing to do, so I need to go. So, as much as I would love to continue to talk about this, I do have to stop at some point, and that point is right now. So we gotta go somewhere. Pastel is playing Just Dance. Scottish Geek is playing Bloodborne. Blitz is playing Diablo 4. Rekpol is playing Diablo 4. And Jenny Bean is playing Grounded. So if there's a particular place people want to raid, let me know. If not, I'll just pick one. Oh, this is perfectly fine. Thank you, Deebs. It's okay if you don't speak Danish. It's the 5th hardest language. Is it? Wow. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Penta. I hope you enjoy your new shoes. Drive safe. Have a good trip. Thank you. I would love to have a safe trip. I'm looking forward to it. I have to text. My dad's playing Diablo. Nice. As a read, Danish is super easy to read, but nigh incomprehensible to listen to. Yeah, I need to remind Blight that I'm coming over to his place tonight. I hope you remembered, because that's my destination for today, so I can sleep, and then we can hang out. But it's my sister's birthday, so I'm hanging out with her tomorrow. All right, is this gonna unmute? Oh, they moved from, they're not playing Grounded anymore. They're playing Diablo. All right, well, I'm going to, no one did a thing, and they're not doing that, so I'm going to go to Pastel. Boop. And I just got hit with an ad for Diablo 4. Oh, no. Sorry, got caught up in Cyberpunk again. Thanks for the stream, Jesse. Now I'm gonna go all dad now. You be careful on them roads, you hear? No speeding, watch your mirrors. Alright, thank you, Squire Apollo Dad. I appreciate it. Hey, I will give her a good old greeting from the internet. Thank you, Squire. Thanks, Galaxy. Thank you, everybody. This was a good time. I did basically nothing. But I got to talk to you all about AI art and about, oh, I guess that's the end of the playlist. About, Underdark stuff. Larson, your campaign sounds fun. You always come in with good questions, so I hope you're having a good time with it. I'm gonna hit this raid button. I don't know if it's gonna raid or not because Twitch is bugging out. So here's if you need a manual raid. Movies we need to see. Yeah. We mindstormed and create questionable AI alert. Standard Wednesday, very much. Oh, thank you, Larson. I'm sure it'll be a good trip. I'm hit the raid button. You all have a good day. I won't see you at any other streams this week. Well, maybe a twitching hour with Blight live. But we're still working that out, so we'll find out. Thank you, everybody. You're the best. I hope you also have a good week. And whenever you drive or take public transit, be safe and have fun. Bye.